Hello everyone, welcome to Age of Listening. What an auspicious day for me to do the readings for this month on 777. Sevens are all about taking control of a situation, reflecting, making assessments. It's the card that represents the teens to me. When we make decisions that sometimes are rash, but sometimes fortuitous. And with it being 777, that means this is the day to make decisions. This is the day to reassess your situation. Now, I pride myself, and I don't say that too lightly, but I pride myself on not BSing you guys when I do readings. I don't give you a whole story. I don't blow stuff up your bum. All I give you is the advice that I get from the cards and any information that I get from my guide. Right, so air. We're going to start off with a general reading for all of the air signs, and then I will put a timestamp in the Gemini in the description bar for separate Gemini, Libra and Aquarius readings, and we'll pull a card each for relationship, finances, careers, and a general one as well. And then we pull 3 cards for advice and see what the cards have to say. So far the readings have been pretty amazing, and it seems this month is quite electric because it's time for assessing and reflecting on where we are at the moment. Let's pull another one. But first off, the card we've got is 11, which in itself is a very spiritual master level. Each evolutionary turn requires you to give up who you think you are. So every time we go up an evolutionary level, yeah, every time we're moving up a level, it requires us to reassess who we think we are and to possibly change direction or sort of alter our path, focus on something else. And it's always about stretching our capabilities, it's pushing us to a change which we have an ability to not, and lots of people don't refuse, they don't want to evolve. It is a choice. But as long as we know that whenever we go up the evolving path, it can be very painful to say the least, because it asks us to change. So you have to ask yourself, do you actually want to do that change? So for the general, for all the air signs, from scratch. We're starting from scratch, is that what it means? Let's have a little look here. No, it's not that booklet. Which booklet is it? I found that these have gone really well together this month, particularly. So let's have a look. No, that's the wrong book. Here we are. Thought so. Congratulations. You've got all the ingredients for every one of your dreams to come true. Everything is now within reach. What are you waiting for? It's not going to bake itself, so quit looking and start cooking. So yeah, starting from scratch at the beginning of something, being positive, moving forward. I quite like that. So we'll, oops, put these aside there. I hope you're doing really well for July. I just feel, I was meditating on this, and usually I don't take, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I usually don't take too much notice of the dates, but it was pointed out to me, and at that point I felt really energized, like it's really the turning point for a lot of people. So the reading for this month, even though this one's a bit late, sorry, but we are all in that point of assessing, making decisions so that we can move forward. Oh, I just got really, I'm going to do that again. Sometimes I do that. Let me just focus. Okay. Love life, general, finances and career. And this is the advice for all of them. I don't tend to do upside downs. I will take it into account. So, so here this would be for career and finances, kind of being stayed wherever you are, you're staying put. If it's upside down, you're not, okay? So you're not kind of, it's the opposite, basically. But what you need to do is get into, it's asking you upside down anyway, to get into a position where you are holding very close to you that which you value. Pulling in the purse strings, yeah? You are holding close to you for security purposes. So this can be staying at a job and not venturing out. And the advice here for me with the Ace of Cups, Cups are all about the heart and the soul, and you're being offered something which is going to give you abundance in some way in that area. So it can be through dreams, it can be through your imagination, but hold out for that intuitiveness, I would say. If you are feeling a bit stuck, you could be feeling stuck, and therefore where you are or with your finances. But here the advice is very positive. Believe in manifestation. You make of life what it is by the ability of your frame of mind. You know, it's things like listening to tarot readers. You can glean from that a positivity that will give you and help your intuition to be kind of kick-started into giving you potential ideas. So with the Ace of Cups, I would say that something is coming towards you, which is going to give you a sense of abundance, hope, and positivity. But this is definitely in your career and finance. Some people call it kind of, some people assume it's kind of a miserly card, but I never do. I see it as a card which is about just bringing in everything that you have and putting it in safe storage. Starting to close down things that you no longer use to make room for more things that are probably going to be more beneficial for you. Battening down the hatches is another phrase that comes to mind. And so with the Ace of Cups, it's asking you to be optimistic. It's asking you to use your intuition a bit, be open through dreams, and positivity, so that abundance can come in. So with love and relationships, and this can also be about family and friends. It doesn't just have to mean about love. And in the same way here, we've got Pentacles, and Pentacles is somebody who thinks very carefully about where they're going to plant their seed, literally. This is somebody who, because the horse is black, which is formality, a force to be reckoned with in the fact that they aren't going to move forward, they're not going to let anyone push them. This is somebody who is quite steadfast and probably slightly stubborn, but that it's because they are not wanting to make a mistake when it comes to relationships, family and love. But the advice here, and it's upside down, but it's sevens, which is about that making assessing and making decisions, reflecting upon what he is growing. So it's asking you to look at the people that surround you and putting a certain amount of control, bringing a certain amount of control in order to help you be in a place of safety, reassurance, be in a place of, well, not making a mistake. I mean, this person doesn't want to make a mistake, so he's being in control. That's why sevens are meaning of why you are having to reflect, why you're being asked to assess, because you don't want to make a mistake. But it's also important in life. So this is all very, very quite this is actually, it's very typical air, really, because it's about not wanting to make that mistake. And it's very thought-provoking, the situation that you're in. You're being very adult-like, and I'm not sensing joy, put it that way. In fact, I'm not sensing any lightness of mind. It's very serious work, it seems to be, this month for you. Which is probably why it's asking you to be positive. And when it comes to love and relationships, you know, keep that what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, bear with me while I just work out the word I'm looking for. I think that whatever is plain to see is obvious. It's plain, it's obvious, it's in front of you. But I think you need to give it time and don't worry in the interim. That's what comes to my mind. You can assess without being in worry. But there does seem to be quite a bit of concern here. But there's a certain point where you can overthink. Do you see what I mean? So in general, here we have the 6. And 6 is a beautiful card because it says a lot in it. You have the 4 of foundations and stability, the ability to manifest what we want in our dreams. But this little boy here, he gives to this person because his tank is already full. So he's got a cup behind him which is full of these flowers, and he's giving a cup that is full of flowers away. But he can do that because his cup is already full. And so it's a card of self-protection. Some people say, don't they, that you attract in your life what is in your psyche, in your head. And this person is very guarded and makes sure that they have peace in their heart, and therefore they're able to reflect peace and attract peace to them. And that gives them the stability of the Four. Because ones always mean the potential of something, the beginning of something. And this young man here is happy to begin something because he has that stability of self-love. And what's been asked of you is the Nine of Pentacles. And when you think that Pentacles are about the material and physical world, I can see that it kind of feels like you're really in the world and you're being asked to be in the spiritual world. And be more in the emotional rather than in your cognitive ability. Try and be a little bit in your emotions in a positive way rather than all cognitive. But this is independent. Be independent. When we look at the nines, it's always about completion. It's always about something coming to an end in a good way. And what a great way to finish with the Nine of Pentacles. 10 is not the end, it's the beginning. It's 12 o'clock. And so with these nines here, you know, this is everything is paid off. She's free of worry because she's taken the time to be wise. And here is wisdom, here is wisdom, here is wisdom, and here is wisdom. So this is what you get. And a little bit of something good goes a long way to keep you out of your head. Because she's a very serious woman, but she knows how to attain what she wants for the stability in her life. So my advice for all of the air right now is to keep in your mind the end goal. The end goal is life complete. You can have all the material worth at your disposal, but without peace of mind, without a sense of self-worth or happiness, just from the frivolous acts that we do. You know, learning to relax, breathe, do something frivolous, you know. Without having those in our lives, we can just be very, very serious. And the air signs can be very serious. But you don't get the Nine of Pentacles. And you don't get to be asked to be the Nine of Pentacles without looking at the full picture. She's worked very hard so that she can now relax. That's why we have the grapes here. You know, the toil that's put into all of the work that she's done in planting the vine and trimming and cutting. And now she reaps the benefit of the grapes, and she will be able to enjoy the fruits of her labour. So enjoy the fruits of what you've done so far, the labour that you've put in so far. So that's really quite heavy. I feel really heavy, actually. I feel like there's a lot of heaviness going on. I can feel it in my voice. Quite stressed, a lot of stress. Probably more stressed, actually, than any of the other signs this month. But let's go straight into Geminis, shall we? One more shuffle. Nope, I'm going to do another one. Okay, so Geminis, just for you. Gosh, a lot of control there in a controlling atmosphere. These are all upside down, so I'm just going to turn this over. So we are indeed moving forward. If I was to look at this, you know, you're working towards something. Could it be working towards a marriage? Could it be working towards, there's something you're working towards, some sort of goal. We have here the 8 of accomplishing something. You're working, there's anticipation. You know, the instant thing that comes to my mind is getting ready for a wedding, or getting ready for, there's something you're getting ready for and you're working hard at it, in somewhere in relationships, family, friends or lovers. And in the future here we've got collaboration. So do you have to collaborate with people? But it's asking you to collaborate. You've got the 3 of Pentacles, which is all about creating so you can move forward, and it's about growth and expression. So is it about, so the card is asking you to collaborate with people and probably to lessen the load. But again, lots of pentacles, very earthy. So it's something practical, but it's asking you, work with people, collaborate, make room for growth, be open-minded. Okay? Then in finances and career. Well, this could be the independent card, working for oneself with the Hermit. When we look at the Hermit, it's about change. It's about sometimes inventing things. It can be about birth and death, going off into the desert, coming back. It can also be about starting a new job and starting at the bottom of the rung. I always think of a native Indian who goes, well, not just native Indians, but any sort of indigenous people that are, you know, they reach just before teenage years, you know, they go off on their own to be sort of inducted into adulthood. So there's something where you're coming into a new stage, but it's asking you for 2. There may be choices that you've got to make, but it's okay to make that choice. But this card for me is often about creating balance, because life is about not just life is about constant changes. That's what it's like, and you have to get used to making changes. You're used to making choices, rather. Life is tumultuous, and if you think it's going to be easy, it isn't, and it's best to get used to that now, and that's okay, because that's what that's what makes life interesting. The ups and downs. I'm going to come back to that, I think. But it can also mean that you are an independent worker, but it's asking you to embrace change. That something's coming in to put it all on its head. and you're going to have to go into a completely different direction. In general, for Geminis, we've got the Emperor card. This is kind of my government, head of corporations, sort of the judge and jury sort of situation with the Emperor. He is sort of the power structure that solidifies all four elements, and it is a seat of power. And quite wonderfully, we have the Fool card here. Huge change. Doesn't surprise me at all that this is about a new beginning, because 0 is reset, and you're being asked to kind of be spontaneous and fairly innocent, and these cards are all about trusting that process, because it has to be undertaken. You know, there's reaching out here and being stretched because of new beginnings and new resets. Are you leaving something that is overpowering you, or are you moving from a place of power or something that's quite staid to something that is going to be like I'm seeing kind of like playing cards being thrown in the air, you know. Is that what it might feel like? I don't know. I feel there's two separate situations here though, but there is a new beginning. Right, so we're going to move on now to Aquarius. Hello Aquarius. How are you doing? We'll just do a shuffle to really get the cards changed a bit. Whoop, for you. Whoop, the World card. The center of the game. The beginning of a new cycle. That was a bit rubbish. Let's do it again. Better. Okay. Ooh. So in relationships with all people, we've got the King of Wands. The King of Wands where you're inhabiting this kind of leader, entrepreneur. He's impulsive and ruthless, has high expectations, full of strength and fire and energy, a real driving force. And of course, Aquarians can be that, very much so. In general, you are the Queen of Swords. That makes sense. Queen of Swords is, in general, is very sort of constructive, wise woman, but her truths can hurt. So she can be very protective. She's a bit of a hard knocks girl, still in defense mode, cautious. And then in finances and career, so this person is joined together in a group. This is how you create. This is how you grow. They've just had the harvest with the pumpkins and they are celebrating, because threes are all about expressing the joy of one cycle coming to an end and the beginning of a new one, and they celebrate that. So let's see the advice. So I think there needs to be a softer approach, really. You're being asked to be the King of Cups. So at the moment you're Queen of Swords, but it's asking you to be the King of Cups. Less ruffled, yeah? Less calmer. Take it calmly. Whatever it is you're doing this month, while you're preparing for the next month, I think you need to be him. And he is one that is not easily messed up even emotionally by his surroundings. He's very calm and takes everything in his stride. He's the master of this subconscious mind, so he's very steadfast, and he's fairly immovable because he's harnessed his emotions so that he doesn't get swayed by surrounding high waves. So be very calm, very, very calm for the rest of this month. Just be steadfast. Don't let your mind overtake you. Don't let your emotions overtake you. The advice here with finances and career, look into any help that you may be able to receive, any benefits that you may be able to receive. There may be a contract that needs signing with the Four of Wands. There's something that's going to bring stability to you, some form of structure, or it's asking you to find that structure and formality. So if there's something that you need to do, like ring up the tax people or whatever, do it now. If there's some form of any sort of paperwork or going for interviews that you need to reorganize or whatever, it's asking you to do that now. Four of Pentacles is all about sort of micro societal institutions. With friendship, love, romance, family, we've got here choices, upheaval, but also an opportunity to be balanced and embrace duality. There may be storms or whatever ahead, but you've always got the power of understanding that knowledge, that having the knowledge rather, that you always have a choice. And where there are ups, there are always downs. And these choices should come from a place of power, not from a place of it being done to you, but rather you being in control because you are the one that are making the decision to do something. So instead of letting somebody enable you, kind of make that decision and stick to it, or just be open to new decisions, be open to new choices. But these opportunities are there for you to empower you. I'm looking at his green shoes here because that's always about fresh starts as well as health. So I think that if we were looking at relationships here, you're quite the go-getter. Lots of energy, lots of creative power. Because the Queen of Wands, of course, is kind of always viewed as pregnant. She's got that much creative power within her. But you've got the King of Wands here. But this is asking you to just juggle a bit. Kind of make choices that could mean that you need to balance in a way that is less emotional, that is coming from less of an emotional place and more of a kind of cognitive place, because we've got you as the protective Queen of Swords, but you're quite scattered here. You've got some energy here, but you're being asked to be not emotionless, but just in control of your emotions. So I would say here that with people around you, I think you've got to embrace the challenges ahead by remaining balanced, and partnerships, embracing partnerships that are giving you the choice. You know, you're not alone. So reach out and delegate if need be. Okay, so we'll leave that there and move over to Libra lastly. Gosh, there's such a lot of headspace going on. I was really looking forward with air for something really frivolous and light. It's got very serious. Okay, let's see. Come on, nice, and let's have a lovely, restful, refreshing, less serious reading. Okay. I have a feeling that with the air signs, they might be a little bit fraught this month, because I think the assessing is being done to you rather than you deciding to reassess. I think you're finding you're having to. But anyway. Okay. No, I'm going to shuffle that again. In fact, I don't want to get the same cards again. I really want to get different cards. Okay, Libra. Let's see what we have. The World card. Brilliant. You've completed. You are at the end. You are the World card. Saturn is within you and by you, and you're about to go off to something, a brand new life. Or life is being, life is coming from you. Are you pregnant? In general, you've got the Two of Cups. Two of Cups being kind of also not just about intimacy and the merging of a man and woman, but also about, you know, it's the famous Who Do You Want card, because often in the older cards there was a mother-in-law and he had to choose between his family or to get married. But who do you want to be? She is offering a cup to him, and he has to decide, does he want to take it or not. So it's do I stay or do I go sort of card. And then in finance and career, we had this last time, I think, with Aquarius. Working for oneself, it can be working in a group. It can be about the end of something and the beginning of something new, because they are celebrating autumn, I think it is. Anyway, whenever it is with pumpkin season, I'm trying to think, but in Britain, when are pumpkins, and that's just before, it's around Halloween. So so one season ends and another one begins. The advice, right, well, right, that's interesting. So we'll stick with this, see if this makes it more clear. The sun is about being released, having freedom. And it's asking you, this is what this deck is asking you to, as a piece of advice. So release yourself. So release yourself from this group. Is that what this is about? Go on your own, away from work. Is that what this is asking you? What comes to your mind? This is coming as a baby into a new experience, having left the Garden of Eden. You are now on your own. So there's something that it's asking you to be brave and courageous, and view your options, which kind of coincides with the general here, because we have the Sophia. I mean, it's an old man here, but it's Sophia who sits at the gates of the city, who everyone comes to for advice. So it's asking you to be wise. And it's being 10, so it's an end of a cycle, it's the completion, it's the rebirth and starting again, it's the new path. This feels very much like what I was talking about in the video before this one that I attached to this video. It is about 777. This is very much, these together is very much about a new start, making decisions, be wise, be confident, step out. And then when we look at relationships of all kind, we have the World card, but we have for advice, you've got some form of growth and moving forward, but it's asking you to in order to bring stability, you must hold something back. Don't rush in. It's asking you to hold back. We have the 4 of foundations and formations and structure. It's asking you to be structured. It's asking you to formulate foundations. But this particular deck with the picture is asking you to keep something a little secret. Sometimes when we have a plan in moving forward, it's best if we don't tell everybody everything. I hope that helps in some way. But I will see you for August. Bye, folks.